All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm just going to keep monitoring people as they come in to admit them. But again, thank you so much for being here for our monthly Virginia Plastic Pollution Prevention Network meeting, or VP3N, which is so much easier to say. This monthly meeting is a place for anyone working with or around or on plastic pollution, marine debris in Virginia to learn from one another, ask questions. But the main thing is that we highlight a guest speaker each month to learn about a different topic, a different organization, anything like that. And so it's a way to ask questions there, see how you can bring it to your own organization, locality, or municipality. And see what you can draw from their experiences. So as I continue letting people in, if there's anyone new to the call who would like to introduce themselves, please feel free to take yourself off mute and say hi or put it in the chat. I do recognize most names, so hello everyone. Glad to see you. I hope your holiday season is going well so far and you're able to take some time and relax even during the busy season. So feel free to take yourself off mute at any point as I'm doing some Clean Virginia Waterways updates, if you have anything to add. But before we dive into things, I just wanted to bring to your attention a few Clean Virginia Waterways updates from our end. As always, I just wanted to bring up that we have two subgroups from the VP3N. One is focused on the expanded polystyrene ban happening on July 1st of next year, 2026. And that subgroup is helping businesses and restaurants transition and phase out foam ahead of that ban so that it's easing their cost burden and any extra capacity it may take to switch over to those different supplies. We're doing some outreach materials, sticker campaigns. It's a fun time. The second group is about a plastic bag fee in Virginia. Right now, Virginia allows each locality to pass its own plastic bag fee of 5 cents on grocery stores. And so we're working with groups that want to help pass that in their own area. We work on outreach materials there, gathering data and helping create effective talking points for city councils. So if you're interested in either of those, have any questions, or just want to learn more, feel free to reach out to me, Joseph, at cleanvirginiawaterways.org, or put your email in the chat and I can reach out to you and set you up for that. I also just wanted to remind everyone that at any point throughout the month in between meetings, we have our listserv that you are free to use. Contacts everyone on the VP3N listserv, so you can ask for any plastics advice, look for resources, whatever you need. And then feel free to contact me if you have anything to put in our monthly newsletter. If you have any speaker or topic suggestions, any questions about the VP3N, I'm always here. And lastly, follow and tag us on social media. If you're doing anything that involves or uses our resources, or you just want some extra reach and cross promotions, we love that. So feel free to reach out. Clean Virginia Waterways has social media handles on Facebook and Instagram, and this VP3N group has a Facebook and a LinkedIn. So you can find us on all those spaces. And with that, I would like to turn it over to all of you. If anyone has any updates on your end, anything you're really excited about, looking forward to, anything you want to ask questions about or promote, feel free. We would love to hear about your events happening. Zach, go ahead.
3-4 months.
There is an open comment period for the solid waste management plan, open until Friday. We are working on some comment that we will make available to folks. But we encourage people to provide comments to DEQ. We'll put the link in the chat for everyone as well right now.
Thanks, Zach. Yeah, we are working on public comments from Clean Virginia Waterways, as well as some talking points for everyone else to kind of copy and paste over into their public comments, if you agree and choose to do that. Thanks, Zach. The link is in the chat. Anyone else have anything they'd like to share? Lisa Renee.
I know you're.
Hi. Hi, Joe. Good afternoon, everyone. Just wanted to share Chesapeake Bay Foundation and partners,
Yeah.
such as Clean Virginia Waterways, are doing a clean water lobby day, January 27th. We also have a prep session to help folks get prepared for lobby day on January 21st, the week before. Our partners and CBF will be sharing water issues and bills that we'll be supporting or opposing, like the bill that's trying to repeal the styrofoam ban and issues like that. So we would love to have you join us. We make it super easy for you. We make the appointments for you. We have a bus leaving from Hampton Roads, leaving from both Norfolk and Newport News. We provide lunch. And like I said, there's a prep session for you, and we provide the fact sheets. So you don't have to know all the facts and details. You really just need to bring your passion of why you're speaking to the issue on clean water. And I'll put some links in the chat. Thanks.
Thank you so much. I actually attended that Clean Water Lobby Day for the first time last year and can definitely attest to the ease of it. It was very simple. I just had to register, and yeah, all the appointments were made. There were one-pagers and all of the bills being lobbied for, so that was super simple too, because I don't have to read into every single one. I just kind of picked my favorites, and I was like, here's a one-pager, as you give it to the staffers that you meet with. The bus, super convenient, so check that out. It is a really great day. And then more than that, I just, like, aside from the advocacy part of it, I met so many people in that space. I was able to like build my network at my own work. So that was great. Thanks for highlighting that, Lisa Renee.
Thank you for your testimony. Yeah, we had about 100 people last year, so it was a great turnout. Let's do it again.
Yeah, that's separate.
That'd be cool. Any other updates? All right. Then I'm going to turn over to Emily Burton for a very exciting. I've heard so much about this project, and this is the first time I get to like formally learn about it. So I'm very excited. Emily Burton is an MS4 program specialist and Operation Stream Shield program manager with Fairfax County government. She holds a Master of Science in Environmental Management and a Bachelor of Science in Fisheries Management. Throughout her career, Emily has focused on environmental policy, pollution prevention, and community enhancement, combining her technical expertise with a passion for building healthier, more sustainable communities. Emily, I will pass it over to you.
Thank you for the nice introduction. I have joined these on and off throughout the years, and I've always found them very helpful and interesting. So I'm glad to be here to be able to present today. I will share my screen in just a moment, but Joe, I do ask if anybody has their hands up or whether they want to chime in. I will not be able to see everybody or the questions, so feel free to interrupt me.
Thank you for that. Yeah, and I can monitor the chat and any hand raises as well.
All right. Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you. I'm Emily Burton. I work in Fairfax County and I manage Operation Stream Shield. This has been a evolving program which launched a pilot in October of 2019. It became a board initiative to reduce litter, and they wanted to address panhandling. We worked with the Office to Prevent and End Homelessness, who was also reviewing There's a Better Way, which is what the city of Albuquerque was developed or had developed at that time. I believe in 2016, 17, maybe 18 time range to combat litter. And DEQ at that time was also actively engaging us regarding a trash TMDL. And for those who are not familiar with that, some of our neighboring localities in DC and Maryland do have trash TMDLs. It is very challenging to be able to move forward with a lot of the requirements of the trash TMDL. So we're doing as much as we can. Let's see what we can do with Operation Stream Shield to help us combat litter. So after discussions with the Office to Prevent and Homelessness, which you'll hear me refer to it as OPEH, Risk Management, and the county's attorney's office, we decided to coordinate with individuals experiencing homelessness. So we are working with single shelters. So that means clients who are 18 or older to remove litter from in and around our waterways. We were working on parkland. Now we have been able to expand that out to VDOT areas in parts of the National Park Service that touches within Fairfax County. We've been developing and refining our policies and procedures and launching our GIS application, which I'll go into in a few moments. So, what is OSS? It is a program that provides a part-time temporary employment experience for individuals experiencing homelessness. Crews will go out twice a week for 4 hours with up to 10 participants per outing. These workdays involve removing litter, invasive plants, mulching, graffiti removal, and support at our county facilities, like our stormwater infrastructure and solid waste and wastewater facilities. The workdays are fully supported by trained staff who guide the team to assist the clients with refining their soft skills and help them progress towards achieving sustainable employment. So I will back up and just reiterate, the goal of this program is to provide part-time temporary employment. So this is not a program where folks will stay on it forever. It does have an end date. We do like to try and get everybody off of the program within 90 days, but we treat everybody individually. So why? It is often described as a win-win-win. So it benefits the county, the participants, and the community. So we're able to advance with environmental stewardship by removing litter and invasive species from our public lands and waterways. And then on the other hand, we're empowering clients, participants, which is what you'll hear me refer to them as well. And it builds skills and helps our participants reinforce confidence in themselves that they have lost. So we want it to be a nurturing experience. And our community has also enjoyed the cleaner spaces, but also working with our OSS teams. The amount of volunteers that we have had to coordinate with them has been amazing. So this is a picture of Fairfax County, and we operate in all 4 defined human service regions. This lets us work with vendors at each of these shelters listed here. These are single shelters throughout the county, and they are working with the clients and identifying people who can go out for the workday. We also have hired employment case managers who will assist individuals in identifying their employment opportunities with this. So our vendors will recruit participants, they'll transport, supervise, and ensure that everything is efficient and inclusive. So just like with every program, engaging our partners is critical. we would not be able to be as successful as we have been without our partners. So we coordinate closely with our Friends of groups, the National Park Service, VDOT, Soil and Water Conservation Districts, Park Authority, our Department of Vehicle Services, groups within my own organization within Stormwater, and then more regularly our IMA volunteers, and that's our invasive management area volunteers. And they essentially adopt a section of a parkland, and then they are able to remove invasive species and keep that park area nice and tidy for the general public to use. The cleanup sites are carefully selected through coordination with our county inspectors. We have a variety of different county inspectors throughout the whole entire area. Our field staff, board supervisor, aides, VDOT, and more recently, we have been able to work with VDOT and being able to clip vines that are in their area. We're not able to dig up anything, but we're able to clip vines, and that is through a program with tree rescuers. OSS is a cross-sector collaboration. It works with county staff, community members, state and federal agencies. And while we were once focused on just litter abatement, we expanded it to a larger public space area by including VDOT and the national parks. Primarily, the invasive plant removal was added in because it was very challenging to find a large amount of area for 10, 12 people to go out and remove litter twice a week. We have 8 different sites between the 4 different groups we have. So we're not just about litter abatement and invasive removal and such. We also focus our program very heavily on workforce development. I work within DPWS, Department of Public Works and Environmental Services. And there is another agency within DPWS, wastewater. They have a plant called Nomen Coal. So this is much more of a hybrid approach where each week up to 5 individuals are selected to participate in an 8-hour workday at Nomen Coal. Every 3 to 5 months, these participants will be eligible for a temp position within the county. And Nomen Coal supports their transition by arranging Uber rides to or from, just one way, their new position. So Nomen Coal is a 24-hour facility. Public transportation is not 24 hours. So in order to make this an achievable goal for somebody to transition into this program or into our workforce at wastewater, the Uber ride does help that person in providing that transportation. We also have our solid waste teams where we've developed pathways with temp agencies to transition folks as long as they are demonstrating commitment and readiness for employment. And since that program, several people have secured either part-time or full-time positions with the county. We also have had several merit positions awarded. Merit means that they've actually come to the county and are county employees like myself and not a contractor through the temp agency. So over the 4 years of working with Nomen Coal on this project, 6 individuals have successfully transferred into employment via the temp agency or county employment. So I think that that is pretty successful. Yes, you may say those numbers are low, but honestly, if one person is succeeding from this program, we're still winning because there is litter being picked up. Our woods are, we're trying to chip away at the invasive species, which I know is a whole another topic and seems impossible, but we are able to make a little bit of a success in our area. So I know this time frame seems really far back, but I'm going to give you data from July of this year. And that is primarily because we've been in the process of reconciling our data. And I feel very comfortable giving you the information from July and maybe not so recently as we sort through a few things. So in July, we had 15 participants graduate into roles across food services, labor trade, childcare, and retail. So I think that that also speaks volumes for the program. We're not just going into these areas that I have listed over here. These are the ones that are within my department in the county, and we're able to have a little bit more sway in. So soon you will see an external dashboard on our webpage that highlights all of the data that folks are picking up. And I'll give you a sample of the data that we are collecting on the next slide. I'm hopeful that'll be within January, February timeframe. And I will not be including human services data within that. I'm giving you very limited information on that aspect in this presentation because I want to ensure that I am holding confidentiality with our participants. All the photos that you do see, everyone has released their approval for us to be able to utilize these photos. But we are tracking human services data. It's just not something I can share publicly. So how are we tracking some of our environmental data and what are we tracking? So we have our GIS mobile application, and this is just a app that is on your phone, and it's through field maps. And the vendors that we are working with will be able to log in each day, click on the location that they're at, and input data. So this is done at the end of each workday. So it ensures timely reporting, and you will be able to get this real time on our dashboard very, very soon with the amount of trash that's being picked up, and I believe how many people were there and the days that it was completed. And I'm hopeful that'll help some of my emails start to slow down in the future for people checking in on how well their site did or such that they had recommended that we go clean. Like I had mentioned, we do have the human services data, but I won't be presenting on it. But just in case you're interested, it is called the Homeless Management Information System, HMIS, and that is where everything is tracked, including the payment at the end of each workday. I don't think I said it before, but each of the participants are now going to receive $15 an hour. And then we have a crew lead who is also a participant, and they get $16 an hour because they are classified as a supervisor and have additional roles during the workday. To try to automate this process a little bit more, to remove some of the work from my plate, we are relying on technology. So Power Automate is a feature where we are able to extract data from the GIS mobile application and then send out weekly emails such as the one you see on the screen to allow them to receive their work orders in a timely manner. As a side note, I would like to mention that OSS is more cost effective than our structural BMPs, like Abandalong and Sormex traps. These systems primarily just capture organic debris and have higher cost per pound for litter to be removed. In contrast, OSS offers broader range of coverage and additional social benefits, making it more efficient for removing litter, because we are able to go out into the green spaces. We're not just in a stream channel. Looking ahead, I mentioned we will be pushing out our dashboard, which will give us the transparent real-time data as to what is happening. And then we'll also have our internal dashboard, which will help us be a little bit more informed with decision making. We just executed new contracts, which is also why I'm not going to provide data from right now, because some of our contractors are learning. So it is a bit more hand-holding and making sure that the data is good. But we will get there soon enough once we are a little bit more stable with our new contracts. And I know a question that you all will probably have with this is, how are you funded? So that is an interesting question. Right now, we are funded through the stormwater fee and also the plastic bag tax. So the invasive plant removal piece of it is funded through the stormwater fee. And then the plastic bag tax funds the litter removal part of the program. One of the questions is, what if the plastic bag tax dries up and you don't have any more? So we are also going to work on developing MOUs with VDOT and the National Park Service and groups within Fairfax County to ensure that we have some form of sustainable funding in the future. If by some miracle we don't have plastic tax funds, but it's a double-edged sword, there is still plenty there. So we will continue to utilize it to make enhancements to this program and cleaning more of the county. That is all I have for you today.
Thank you so much, Emily. That was incredible and loved hearing about it.
Thank you.
We're going to move into some questions and discussion around Operation Stream Shield, and I'll kick things off because I was taking notes and have some questions.
Okay.
I was wondering if you have a breakdown, like percentage-wise, of how many tasks are cleanups and how much are invasive removals.
Yes. So I don't have a breakdown in front of me to provide you, but we are working on that internally. And typically it's going to be about 40-60. So 60% we're doing litter abatement, 40% we're doing invasive plant removal.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. And you said there are 8 sites, I believe. Is it the same? Do all sites have both litter removals and invasive removals?
Yes. So let me bring up on the screen the picture of the county. So here's the picture of the county, and we work in all of these areas. There is a group assigned to each of them. So we work Monday through Friday, and each of these groups are assigned, they pick 2 days that they would like to work in the times. So that gives us those 8 sites per week. And then the way that I go through it is I issue work orders to them, which will look like this here, where they have either a litter or an invasive plant removal. I did choose this one just because it had both on it to let you see how it is issued. And all of these are pre-populated into GIS by myself the month prior. And I usually let our IMA volunteers choose work days that they would like, and then our county staff as well. And then I'll toss in some of the litter removal days. At our invasive work days, we do have somebody present at every single one of those, whether it's a volunteer or county staff member, just so they can say, pull this, don't pull that, and what to do with it. Some of the time, county staff will paint the trees after, or plants after they have been clipped. The litter removal days, I do not have staff present out there unless there is someone who would like to volunteer, and then they just join in with everybody.
Very cool. And you said that these are the tasks are designated a month in advance.
Correct.
Are there like hot spots that you choose for the litter cleanups based on like rainfall events or anything like that?
No, we do have a litter hotspot map, courtesy of Zach when he was at Clean Fairfax. And we were able to just build on that and identifying additional sites as well, either through our county inspectors' reports or complaints from board of supervisor aides or residents.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any questions? Because I can keep going.
I didn't have a question, but I just wanted to say amazing work, Emily. I know that's tough and all the parameters you have, just fabulous work. Kudos to you.
Thank you so much. I would love for it to be in other localities too, but it is a lot to take on and to move forward. But I am very thankful for having amazing coworkers in both Public Works and over at the Office to Prevent and Homelessness to make this program a success.
Definitely. Karen, go ahead.
I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. I have a question about the National Park Service. So I thought it was interesting that you said you work with them in Fairfax County. I was wondering, did you reach out to them or did they reach out to you? How did that go?
Yeah.
First part of the question. Second part, I'm very interested in anti-litter campaigns because people don't realize it's actually illegal to litter in all 50 states. Everybody has a different law. And I was wondering, do the Park Service, I haven't been in a good national park in a while. Do they already have anti-litter campaigns?
That is a great question. I am not incredibly familiar. I would say that probably their budgets, they're really working on a skeleton budget at the moment. So they will take any help they can possibly receive. However, I will go back to your first question of how did we engage? So it's going to be very similar to working with VDOT. I coordinated very heavily with the Friends of groups when we were developing this program, because a lot of our Friends of groups were out in the fields creating these cleanups. They were frustrated that they're out there doing all these cleanups and like, what are we doing? And now we have a workforce that is dedicated to go out there and assist people while they're doing it as well. So a resident who was an active participant on a Friends of group had suggested working within Dyke Marsh, and that happens to fall within the George Washington Memorial Parkway, which is a National Park Service property. And I was like, would love to help. It's within Fairfax County, definitely under our purview, but I need assistance in creating those connections. And that resident was super eager and connected me with whomever she was working with at the time. And it
that's
just
great.
kind of went from there. And we built the
Perfect.
partnership from that. And it happened
That-
very similar with VDOT too.
That's an amazing connection that you have, and I'd love to circle back to you one day and talk with this person that you're friendly with. That's amazing. Thank you.
Of course, happy to help in any way.
Thanks, Karen. Does anybody else have any questions? Feel free to raise your hand or just put it, come off mute or put it in the chat.
So while people are thinking, I mentioned that we just executed contracts, and a piece I'm very excited about is my department does snow removal. There are other groups within the county that does it too, but we are probably one of the larger ones, and we will be allowing some of the clients to be able to help us in shoveling the sidewalks and treating them properly and everything. So there's a lot of new exciting work out there for folks.
That's good to hear that. Yeah, the scope is still growing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is it, oh, I guess if there's snow removal, that answers my question, but I was going to ask if Operation Stream Shield is a year-round program.
It is a year-round program. Most of the time we do have full participation, 10 clients per workday, but I will say it does tend to be a little bit less in the winter, the really cold days and the really hot days. But I say we'll have less. I mean, we'll probably have 7 to 8 participants, which is still a good number of people.
Very cool. And Emily, I had more of a personal question for you, since Operation Stream Shield does overlap with environmental health, human safety, economics. There's a lot of skill sets involved in there. So I was wondering how, like, what skills from your background, or what do you, what skills do you have from your background that help you manage all of these different facets of Operation Stream Shield?
Well, I can give you the not so good answer first, and that is fake it till you make it. But the more professional response is my background is the environmental side. I'm an ecologist, and that is what I know, what I love. But also through this effort, my department director at the time was being asked by the Board of Supervisor aides to develop something such as this. And when your department director comes to you and says, "Can you do this?" you say yes. And you just figure out resources. So I spent a lot of time looking online, reading, how do I do this, but also connecting with my colleagues and really understanding the human services side of it and the impacts, and how can I make the program full circle and helping people, because it is a very tough line to toe of potentially being perceived as taking advantage of a vulnerable community. But by providing them resources, the communities or the participants resources, as well as us benefiting from it, it's just a win-win situation. So a lot of time and dedication to this program and wanting it to succeed. And it was also, my department director at the time was like, you have an endless amount to do with this. If you can make it successful, then we'll figure out how to make it successful. And I am just have that mentality of, okay, I'm going to figure it out and we're going to make this work. So a lot of brainstorming.
That's great. And all the partnerships, I'm sure, help. Everyone's has their own expertise and their own knowledge. So
Of course, yep. And that's how any program I think is going to be successful, is it's not just one person, it is everybody. It's your team and the people you're partnering with to build this. And very frankly, the vendors that we were contracted to and still are contracted to, helped us build this program from scratch. So that's why it's constantly evolving.
and was Operation Stream Shield something that the Fairfax county, sorry, I had to remember county or city, the Fairfax county government was able to kind of create on its own, or was it passed by an ordinance?
We created it on our own.
Okay, that's really cool.
And it was funded just from the stormwater fee. And then once the legislation was passed for back tax, localities being able to partake in that, Fairfax County joined that. And then we were able to tap into that funding source, allowing us to do other things with the stormwater funds that OSS was using.
Awesome. April, go ahead.
Yeah, so I just had a question. It looked like on the dashboard that you were showing that you track the litter, and I was just wondering if that is correct. Like the participants have to mark down on a sheet or whatever every piece of litter that they pick up, and what do you do with that data other than the dashboard? Do you use it like in an annual report or try to get more funding, or how is that all used?
So the data that we collect is measuring the success of the program. And what we'll do with it is it will be out there on that dashboard for everybody to see. But fortunately, there is not a regulatory component that requires us to report it. It is there. And I think that it's empowering that Fairfax County was willing to take a risk on a program like this and seeing its success. We do not count every single piece of litter that has been talked about in coordinating with Clean Fairfax, who is a group that we partner with very regularly. And they actually manage our floatables monitoring program, which is where they do count every single piece of litter within a certain area. And then that is reported. So the information that we're gathering from OSS is complementary to the floatables data. It shows that the work that we are doing and the data we are receiving from our floatables monitoring is very accurate. But typically it's given off to nonprofits and then they are able to use it for work. Does that help answer your question?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. I just wasn't sure, how far the data was being kind of given out to what other groups and, how that, could help them. But I could see that with the nonprofits, helping them along the way too for funding and so forth. Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, April. That was one of my questions too. I'm glad it got asked. And once the trash is collected, Emily, is it got data's collected, but is it sorted or at all, or does it just get thrown away?
The data?
The trash.
Oh, the trash. So yes, at the end of each workday, it is backed up and then put, not by a storm drain.
Yeah.
And it is then picked up. That has been a gap within the program. It's usually a week later. However, those contracts we just executed, starting January 1st, we will be picking up our own bags, which is incredible because it also allows us to get the weights of the material that we are collecting. So they will be driving a truck to the scales at our transfer station or landfill. It'll be weighed in and out, so we will know exactly how much trash is being disposed of from our streams.
Very cool. Any other questions? Emily, is there anything that you would wanted to add that you maybe just remembered or anything?
This is just a brief snapshot of Operation Stream Shield. Obviously, there's areas I can dive into a little bit more. I just wanted to give you that brief overview. If anyone has any questions that they would like to dive into or learn a little bit more about different areas of it, I'm happy to provide that information.
Thank you. Actually, I just remembered one question that maybe we could dive into a little bit. This program started back in 2019, I think, if I remember the map from the first slide. What was the discussion beforehand of like how to form this project?
Yeah. So at that time, DEQ was asking us, or really they weren't asking us, they were telling us that they were receiving a lot of litter complaints. And what are we going to do? How are we going to abate this? And as you all have talked through and worked through within this group, it's very challenging to do anything with litter, especially in the state of Virginia. And with the idea of having a trash TMDL, it's like, how is that even achievable? And when we looked over at Maryland and DC, who do have a trash TMDL and what they are doing, we're like, okay, well, maybe if we have a dedicated team who can go out and remove that litter, it would make things a little bit more streamlined. And then we're essentially doing exactly what our neighboring localities who have those TMDLs are doing, and it shows that we don't need that. At the same time, we were developing a chloride TMDL for the amount of salt in Acatink Creek. And that ended up being a very large effort and something that impacts the MS4 permits on a statewide level. And that was a consideration that DEQ had to take into into account as well within these conversations. So I know it becomes more of a political thing. I don't exactly remember what DEQ decided. Well, obviously they did not decide to show us a TMDL, but what that deciding factor was for them. But it is a topic that I do feel like comes up on a very cyclical basis. So probably every like 5 or so years, we'll get comments and questions about it. But then also our Board of Supervisors, we're looking at the city of Albuquerque and saying, they're combating litter, what can we do? So that is where we took a look at their model where they were working with people who are panhandling, and we were like, that does not seem feasible. People are not going to want to go work because at the time we were paying $10 an hour. Nobody's going to want to do that. And then I had found out that the Lamb Center, which is one of the groups that we are contracted to, had a very small scale of program of that within the city of Fairfax. So we wanted to bring them on to learn from them and the work that they had done, and also working with Fairfax City to talk about it. And then it has just kind of grown from there of working with our partners.
Thank you. Very helpful. Well, if there are no other questions, then another huge thank you to Emily for being here and teaching us all about Operation Stream Shield. Where can we go to learn more about it, Emily?
Let me give you the web page. And soon enough, you'll see the dashboard on this page. Bear with me for a minute. Somebody
Hey.
already beat me to it and dropping the link.
I got you, Emily. It's in there.
Thank you.
Thanks, Zach. Great. Thank you, everyone. Again, I will see you in January. Have a fantastic rest of your year. Oh, Karen, did you raise your hand? It went down really quick, so maybe it was just
Yeah, sorry. I was typing to Emily. Emily, I just wanted to dovetail on that last comment. So I have our nonprofit is focused on teaching pre-K through 12 the hazards of litter, and we presented, or we had a exhibitor table at the Virginia Association of Science Teachers in the meeting was actually in Alexandria in November, and it was so incredibly well received by the science teachers to teach the anti-litter message. And so I was typing and I accidentally wanted to clap and I hit the wrong one, but I'd love to circle back with you and talk with you more about that.
Of course. Here is my contact information.
Oh, thank you so much. Perfect. Thank you. Oh, there you
It
are.
is
Okay. Perfect.
Emily, sorry, I was typing it. Emily.Burton2, please don't forget the 2, at fairfaxcounty.gov.
Thank you so much, Emily.
Thank you all. I really appreciate you all letting me speak about Operation Stream Shield today.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for your attendance.
Thanks, Emily.
Thank
Mid
you.
members.
Take care.
Have a good one, y'all.
Bye.